And
back.
time starting now.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, emotional, not emotional damage, emotional equality.
Ain't nothing equal when it comes to a man and a woman is emotional. We get straight into it. I don't give a rat's you know what. Let's go.
Oh boy, I'm about to grab my pen. I was like, oh.
Here we go. Ladies and
gentlemen. Start it off because I look, when you said that to me, Lord Jesus, forgive me, Heavenly Father. Listen here. Emotional equality, equal quality, whatever how Rob pronounced it. Equality. That's our theme for tonight, which it
text me through, by the way, Sunshine. Sorry.
Okay.
It struck a nerve for your boy DJ Chef today because
why?
I'm gonna tell you why. God darn it!
Tell me why. Talk to me now.
Women do not like to hear men bellyache, complain, and cry.
Wow.
They like us to suck it up, push through, and be a man about it. Handle your emotions on your own terms. Don't come to me.
F your feelings.
Yeah.
In this new time and generation we have, yes. But there are some women who are wanting to hear how their significant other, they boo thing, they loved one, the boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, whatever your title is, they want to hear it. But are you really hearing the emotional stress?
No. It's one thing to hear, it's another thing to listen.
Yeah, because
like we just went through just now when I was talking, and I was like, "Are you listening to me?" So I was telling him about something before you got on, and he just looked like how he looked like when he just be sitting there, and I was like, "Are you listening to me? Like, do you hear me?" I was like, "Is this thing on? Like, can you hear me?"
And I was for real listening. I was just, I got two screens, so I'm looking at the other screen, but I'm listening to everything she said.
Man, look, women don't care about our emotions. They don't.
Women do not care. Okay. I'm gonna combat that a little bit.
Find me a female, a grown donkey female, since I can't cuss. I'm a grown woman who will honestly say, I care about my significant other's feelings. I care about how emotionally how he's feeling. Find me. Sunshine, you don't count.
I care. All right. I care. Now, how I process what I hear is something different.
Totally different.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can hear you telling me how you feel, but I'm still working on communication myself. So what I say after you tell me how you feel may or may not come out the way that you was expecting when you was like, you know what, I'm gonna tell my woman how I feel. And I think a lot of women go through that because we are not used to hearing men talk about their feelings. So if you are not conditioned to do stuff, what they tell you in the Navy, you train like you fight, right? So if you're not conditioned to do something, if you're not trained to respond to stuff like that, you're gonna F it up every time.
Hey, Clara. Appreciate you joining us. What we're talking about is some emotional equality. Apparently, Chef, say it again. What you say? Say what you said again. Say what you said.
I don't care about how we feel. Y'all don't. That is a sign to a woman that is a sign of weakness. Why are you telling me about your emotion? Why do you think does a woman truly deep down really care about how the flying filth we emotionally we feel, how our work days went, or how we've been drained or stressed out, or just emotionally just going through something? Like, we break down. Men break down.
Man, who you telling?
Don't show it.
Who you telling?
But like I said, women, we care. We just don't know how to respond to that, because a lot of times we're looking for somebody to listen to us. So we don't know how to respond when it comes time for us to listen.
Let me say this. I think I truly, and this is just God's honest truth, and I learned this from my wife, truth tell it. And not that she told me, but this is just observation. I don't think now my wife has gotten far better than before.
Hey, Mike.
But I truly don't think women know how to care for their man. They know how to care for their kid emotionally. They know how to care for their children, their parents, grandparents.
Don't even know that.
But when it comes to your partner, someone that you're supposed to be equally yoked with, even friends sometimes, women that are friends with men, right? Mm-hmm. Don't necessarily know how to care about what they're talking about or about how they feel, right? And to add to that, on the opposite side, we don't know how to tell them. We don't know how to talk to a woman and say, babe, feeling XYZ, right? Mia said most of the time, if we ask what's wrong, the answer is nothing. So we don't know how to help when they won't communicate, even when we know something is wrong. That is true, Mia, and that goes back to my point. We don't know how to communicate how we feel either. And it comes from childhood when we're taught, don't ever let somebody see you cry. Don't ever let somebody see you flustered, because if they do, they'll show it. It'll be seen as a sign of weakness, and that's what people attack, right? Business is the same way. Relationships are the same way. We're taught that from birth almost. Never let somebody see you frazzled, because if they do, that's when they're gonna take advantage, right? That's when you're at your weakest, right? As a man, you're always supposed to convey strength and power, right? So if in some instance in there's a sign of, oh, he not strong right now, I can get at him, I can take advantage of it. That's what we've learned, right? And it's, to be honest, it's true, right? When you're in, for example, right, people who have played a sport, right? Whenever you are playing against an opponent and you're losing bad, right? If you show any lack of confidence in your team, like, we can come back from this, you're done. The game is over. The other team sees that and they're like, oh, we beat them mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's done. The game's over.
Kind of like how the Saints tried to come back against Arizona last night.
Listen, we don't talk about Bruno, okay? We don't talk about Bruno.
The best slow-mo of all time. The best slow-mo of all time. We're not here to talk about football, though.
That's a good example. I'm just saying that's a good example. That's a great example.
Amber said, what men don't realize is that women love when y'all show emotions, because it shows us that you're human. Now,
you're capable of being vulnerable. Like it shows your softer side.
But in-house, once you, and the craziest thing, right? It's only because my wife didn't see me frazzled for a minute, right? Uh-huh. Unless it was about her, then it was like, oh my God, let me, But if it was about some outside of that, my wife never saw me like flustered, because I don't want to show that sign of weakness, right? Uh-huh. It wasn't until a certain point where I felt comfortable and confident in my relationship that I knew she wasn't going to use this against me.
So
because
okay, all right. Keyword: your wife, your spouse.
Yeah.
I do, you do, we do. It's us, team me, team us.
But they wasn't always married though, so he can speak on
a married point of view.
What is that?
It's a lighter. Don't worry about it. It's a lighter.
Oh, it's a torch.
Torch. Yeah, I need a cigar. What about these girlfriends who don't like to speak or like to hear? Keyword: hear. Hear me now. Hear me. Can you please hear me? Listen to me. I'm exposing myself. I'm exposing my weakness. I'm exposing the fact that I'm emotionally vulnerable. I'm emotionally drained. I need you to listen, just like you vent to me, and I'm supposed to sit here and take in everything you're saying, and I'm supposed to analyze it and listen and understand it and give you an exact response after you're done, because you're going to ask me, what do I do? Or what do you think is a good situation to handle that? Or babe, hey, how can I get out of this rut?
Well, let me
say same return when I say, hey, babe, bada, this nigga know what got me effed up, and this, who got me effed up, and
not the cuss.
Like, it's doing good though. I'm proud of him because he got the most.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
Good.
No,
it's frustrating.
Well, let me say this. What we as men also need to do is keep a mental tally of instances like that for our women, because, and then on top of that, we also need to communicate that, hey, I don't think we're communicating well when it comes to how I feel about certain issues, right? When I want to vent to you, it's a problem, or I'm being a punk or whatever, right? But when you vent into me, I gotta sit back. So what?
I hope she's not telling him that he's being a punk.
Well, no, I'm just saying hypothetically, right? But when you vent to me, I'm supposed to take it all. Oh man, I can't believe this happened. I gotta be engaged. I gotta be, you know what I'm saying? So in those instances, we also need to be able to say, hold on, I need to get some stuff off of my shoulders as well, right? Men's shoulders are broad because we're meant to carry the weight of the world on them, right? That's what I was taught young age. We got broad, strong shoulders. The reason we got shoulder pads is because that's one of the strongest points on our body, right? We're supposed to be able to take a lot of weight on these two things here. So we were supposed to be built to last, forward tough, right?
Amen.
But we also have emotions. We also have feelings. Now, granted, we may not be as vulnerable as a woman is. Of course not. We're not gonna come venting to you about, some girl asking me to get something off the fax machine and I'm the district manager and I can't, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just, all right, whatever, do it and gone. Just stuff like that, brush off. But when it's something major that I'm really, really feeling that, for example, right, today, I had a major contract that it was on the hook, and at the last minute, the guy backed out of the contract. I needed that contract, but it didn't happen, right? I was feeling horrible the rest of the day. Like, holy, I can't believe I messed that up. Somehow I messed it up. I don't know what I could have done better, right? And in myself, I'm talking myself through it. I'm venting to myself. And in a moment, I was like, this isn't healthy. I gotta talk. So I know my wife was at work. I text her, baby, I'm feeling down about this contract I just lost. And immediately, I don't know if she was busy or not, but it made me feel good. She was like, it's okay. When one door closes, another door opens. You got this. Don't let this, You probably weren't meant to get that contract anyway. Like, just saying everything that I needed to hear to boost my confidence back up, because at that moment, I felt so defeated, right? And so, but that also comes with knowing your partner, right? I know if I go to my wife and say, hey, I feel this type of way, I know I'm gonna get something good back, or I'm gonna get something that I need back. I mean, I know I needed it at the time, and that made me pissed off that she gave it to me that way, but I needed it. You know what I mean? So that still, well, I say I was with a patient, but we could still text. But so that comes with the partnership. That comes with knowing your partner. So in your instance, Chef, I don't know if this is you for real. I'm just saying in broad sense, right? What you were talking about with the girlfriend not being able to listen to you, that's something that you need to take back and be like, hey, we're not communicating well. Something need to change here. And we got to be man enough to say that. And if nothing changes in the coming weeks, months, however long, then it's time to, hey, somebody else out there will. God's honest truth. If you're not willing to give me what I give to you, it don't match. We're not here with it. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel. Sunshine, how you feel about it? I don't, I take.
No, I agree with that, but I think that ties into what I was saying before about the whole, you want somebody to match what you have. No, it does not necessarily have to be income, because like I said, my man could be bringing home a student loan check. He could be selling newspapers.
Head stamp seller at UPS.
He could be delivering newspapers every day. He could be, like I said, selling oranges and lemons on the side of the highway, and this is all I got.
Hey,
type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter, but you want somebody to match what you have intellectually, whatever it is. You want somebody to match. Like, if you're doing that as a means of a stepping stone to do something else, that's one thing. But if you doing it just because you like doing it, then no, you're not equally matched with me, because I'm doing this, that, and the third, and I'm bettering myself. I'm doing this, but you happy with doing that. So you want somebody to match what you have, even emotionally. And like, if you get with somebody and like y'all not emotionally matched, y'all teach each other. You know what I'm saying? You teach a person how to treat you emotionally. A person don't just come in automatically knowing what makes, like, I'm pretty sure when you and Amber first met, she didn't know what it took to make you feel good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Women, we have the power to do that. And that goes back to that video that I posted. We have a power to do that. You know what I'm saying? You give us a house, we make it a home. You know what I'm saying? You bring home groceries or whatever, we make dinner. Women have a power to do that. So if you don't teach your partner how to do those things for you, and vice versa, y'all are never gonna, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are always gonna be, like Chef said, women is like, F your feelings. Y'all always gonna have that issue.
And I want to pivot a little bit, kind of the same topic, but pivot just a little bit. And that, so what goes hand in hand with that is being able to communicate your needs clearly, right? People always say communication is key. That's false. Comprehension is key. I can't communicate with a deaf person using sign language because I don't understand the language. So they're communicating with me. I don't understand it though. I can't comprehend it. So comprehension is key. If I can understand, if I can understand what you're saying, if I can understand how you feel, if I can understand where you're trying to take me, you know what I'm saying, in our conversation, I can go a lot further than just you saying words to me. So I want to share a video with you guys really quick. That it's one of those Iyanla Vanzant episodes. But
she's the guy whisperer. That's what I call
the guy whisperer. Okay, we're gonna go to the guy whisperer. Here we go.
I don't think my husband respects my position as stepmom.
Let's talk about that.
Your children, the ones that I did not create, they're allowed to do what you do. They sleep all day. They don't come out of the room. They don't do what
Wait a minute, hold
do.
up. I want you to come over here. I want you to watch this. Let me show you something. Go sit over there. I have a little concern because your sons are not demonstrating that they are learning to be the kind of man I know you want them to be. they're going to demonstrate the kind of man you teach them to be. And I'm not really sure what to do about that. Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. That's how you do that.
Pimp.
The woman has to talk to her man to get him to move the way she needs him to move. You're not going to get nothing with that. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel that? Yeah.
All right. So we don't watch too much more of it. But so Chef, what did you get from that? Clearly I hit you. I felt the spirit moved a little bit right there. I saw that.
You know what? Look, man, hey, I know there's going to be a day where the good Lord brings Chef a partner and it's going to be one hell of a wedding. You know what I'm saying? All you jokers are invited when that day comes. You know what I'm saying? All of it. Look, y'all gonna be like,
I'm gonna be there like on the Andre 3000 video. We gonna wipe her out like detergent if she mess over you. Me and my mama gonna be sitting on the front row.
So
two things. Two things. When I heard and saw this keyword, I heard. I didn't even have to look at it. I just heard it, because that right there, when a woman can do that, talk, keyword talk, without raising a voice or showing, emotions with
attitude,
talking to you,
hand, you know what I'm saying, or talking with their facial expression, but like genuinely talk to me, properly communicate at a nice, cool, relaxed voice. You need me to build that shelf?
I'm saying though, right?
You say
you want to wrap around back porch? I got you.
So, and the other thing was, it involves the children. You know what I'm saying? So, my mom has always told me lead by example, and I can tell you this: I was not a great father in the beginning. Sucked at it, horrible at it, horrible. I can admit to that. I can say that. Horrible. Because I thought it was like my dad. Hey, get to it. No questions asked. Do what I say what I do. I don't want to hear nothing in between. Not in those exact words. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit of, sailor cussing up in there somewhere.
A little sauce on it. I got you.
But the way she said it and how the stepmom reacted initially, because then I saw it, because I'm just like, what is her body language after saying that? Because her body language, it wasn't until, you saw the little simple middle tears. That's what I'm gonna call it, simple middle tears. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't genuine tears. It was like, you know what? She got a point. I should 1 or 2 slid out.
So you thought that was cap?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she capping on the tears.
Yeah, but
them the Kyle Rittenhouse tears. That's what you're saying. What up, JB?
You have to. Men, we're already naturally going to be aggressive in everything we do, because we want to make sure we win at it. We're the best at it. We're perfection to a T. I don't need my significant other to literally. If I needed a boss to yell at me, I'm gonna go to work. I don't need my spouse, my girlfriend, my baby mama, whatever the case, hey, whatever floats your boat. I don't need that person who's supposed to care about my feelings or is trying to properly communicate with me to tell them, hey, look, I've been asking your seeds, your offsprings, the ones that did, like she said, the ones that did not come from me. I've been asking them to do this. They follow your lead. I'm supposed to follow your lead. But, excuse me, if I can't get the respect from your children, that means I can't get the respect from you.
Mo said, your house should be a place of peace for you both.
More money in the building, God darn it.
Exactly.
She's supposed to be around. So, man.
He said not hit me with a rock.
Powerful words. And I think to be honest, I think both men and women have a communication issue when it comes to how we say things, not necessarily what we say, but how we say it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this, a few episodes ago, in that what you say may not be the problem, but how you say it definitely has an effect on somebody.
Exactly.
Mentally, emotionally, whatever. Right. So, my burrito just came inside. I'm sorry. That moment.
It's true though, because it's what's said and then it's what's heard. Like you said,
right.
Communication isn't key, it's comprehension that's key. Because I can't tell you how many times I've said something or Mike said something and I was like, well, you just said blah, 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 blah. Or he's like, well, you just said blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, that is not what I said. Or he's like, that's not what I said. And then the next thing that come out of either one of our mouth is, well, that's what I heard. Yeah. So, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever I say, he comprehended a certain way, but that's no fault to his. It's just probably how I said it, because my delivery is not always there. That video spoke volumes to me, because I probably wouldn't have said it like her. I probably would have been like, look, your kids is doing everything that you do. Like, I need you to do better. Like, I probably would have said something that would have caused, like, y'all, I'm gonna have to go and start watching her, because that inspired me. Because I was like, oh my God, like that is like which the way she told it to him, I was like, man, I gotta learn how to talk like that. Like,
the crazy thing is,
still uplifted, because I was like, oh wow, like that's so like, yeah.
And the way his wife was saying it, guarantee would have started an argument. The way Ayana said it would have been like,
you know what? I'll do better.
I got you. Right. And so what happened? Right. We feel, and Mo said it earlier, we suck at attacking each other. Naturally, even if it's genuine good advice, like, hey, or I have a problem with something that you're doing. Hey, I don't like whatever. It sounds like an attack. So we go on the defensive rather than actions to actually correct the behavior that is causing the problem. And then when we go on the defensive, we cause a bigger problem that ain't even got nothing to do with the initial issue.
Yeah.
So you end up never fixing this problem, creating a new problem. Now you got more problems than you initially had, when all you had to do figure out how to communicate something properly, right? How to communicate something in the way that your partner can receive it, not the way that you want to deliver it, the way that your partner can receive it, right? So we've talked, and counterattack, exactly. What I think a lot of relationships, where I think they fail at, even in the early stages, is just how you talk to each other. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but first of all, men are naturally more abrasive. Let's just be honest, right?
And dominance from the beginning.
It's not even to establish dominance. It's just we're naturally more abrasive than women are, right? And what happens is you get a woman that's experienced with these abrasive men, and they become abrasive themselves to defend against the rough nature of relationships, right? So then you come into a new relationship with this coat of armor that's thicker than metal, and you're now this tough individual. You got two tough individuals trying to talk to each other, and instead of delivering something in, I won't say feminine manner, but in a softer, more receptive manner, right?
Equal manner, in a equal manner.
Okay, I'll go with that. In an equal manner, instead of delivering it emotional damage.
And that internet, boy.
What happens is, am I breaking up again?
It was a little bit. You had a little lag right there.
Okay, my bad. But what ends up happening is these two juggernauts bash, right? Never mesh together in communication. You bump heads and nothing gets fixed. Nothing gets resolved, right? So what we have to do as people, right? And this is especially apparent in the Black community, but as people, is take a step back, drop the pride, right? That go.
Come on now.
Drop the pride, step back and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? What is the issue here? Right? And don't just look at surface level. Oh, well, she'll never listen to what I got to say. Every time I got to say something, it's a problem. That's, first of all, that's a layer. That's a layer on top of the huge issue beneath that may not even be a big problem, right? If you sit down, the reason that therapy works so well is because you have a mediator in the middle that doesn't care about neither one of y'all. And then they're able to hear both sides and say, wait a minute, that's not the issue. That's not your issue. Your issue is da 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 da. And then you're like, oh yeah, I do that. I do that. Like, yeah, I'm trying to say that. That's what we saying. And then you be like, no, that ain't what you said. That's what you said. When we talked about it, you talked about da 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 da. And I was like, nah, because nothing gets solved.
So here's the but when voices elevate and facial expressions, put like this. I tell both of my two kids, if your facial expressions could talk, you would be a murderer, because sometimes facial expressions can trigger anybody. A head roll, an eye roll,
the eyebrow. Oh, that'll get me every time, boy.
Eyebrow, and us as people, not saying white, black, or brown, us as people in general, all shapes and forms of it, all colors of the mother-loving rainbow. Us as people.
Anybody. That's right.
Thank you, New Chocolate Thunder, #1 in the building, y'all. When you start talking with your hands and pointing and gesturing, and that no longer is a equal conversation. That conversation is getting ready to boil over to toxic. Because now, why are you in my face? Why are you pointing at me? Stop. Because
you said, Sunshine, we can get some looks, can't we?
All right. So like Mike said, that's how two people that love each other to death could not talk to each other. And
that's after boy Jay Brown coming in with the hundo.
I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Nunu, I don't know what she talking about.
We don't see it on this podcast live.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
I'm gonna say season 4, episode 46. That's all the evidence I need.
The Vernon Jones episode.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Part 1 and part 2.
Right. That part.
I'm like on Life when he said, don't even mention watch. You say Lil Cuckoo. That's how I feel about him. Don't even mention his name. You say that dude we had on the show. I might bust you.
Bring her to walk on.
Oh no.
I don't think, but like this, me living in the great country of Texas, you know what I'm saying? The rest of y'all are peons.
Stop.
Me,
no that in there.
You know what I'm saying? Me living in the great country of Texas, a lot of the diehard Cowboy fans would feel so heartbroken about their beloved Herschel Walker, who at one point was a resident of Dallas, Texas for a very, 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 very long time.
All right, Nunu, we knew
come on here
about the first time.
I'm gonna blast his back to the past. You know, he ain't safe if he come on to PFB. He ain't safe.
I can't do
We're not
it.
going there. We're not even gonna dip our toe in that politic pond again. Nope.
Like we know who you talking about. You don't have to keep it up. We know who she talking about.
Oh, you talking about the dude who was like obey? That we talking about?
Listen, Linda, listen. Put it out.
Why they call you son?
If
in
ever there was somebody to get under my skin, like
It was him.
ever. If I see that dude out in town, I probably walk behind him and clip him and chip his tooth.
See, don't it?
Don't watch.
Allegedly, you know the government watching. Allegedly.
Listen, I ain't got Kanye money, so guess what? They can sue me. What they gonna say? What they gonna take? My little retirement check? Sue me.
Oh my God,
Mr. Gay. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you.
And I'm saying back on topic. We got to get back on the call, y'all. No, so ladies and gentlemen, truth tell it, we got to drop the pride, drop the ego, drop the pride. When you and I understand, like when you first appreciate that, Nunu. I understand when you first come into a relationship, you know what I'm saying, having your guard up, being protective because of whatever past experiences you may have had, but also just don't do a felony and lose your benefits. Facts. But also be open to to another experience, right? Be open to, you know, Mike said I'm willing to.
Thanks, baby.
Mike, look, hey,
I'm willing to. I'm willing to.
Well, you local jokers ain't sugar honey iced tea. I tell you what.
Hey, look, we got a whole romance story going on over here. We got Mike in the comments and Sunshine right here. This is beautiful.
I was about to say, who put the mad face on my baby comment? Come on now, don't do us like that.
Somebody being petty, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, we gotta be willing to drop the ego, drop the pride, and take a step back and say, all right, I want this to work. If you want it to work, leave. But if you want it to work, drop it. And just be able to receive criticism, but also, right? So this happens as well. This happens as well with me and my wife. If I have an issue, or if she has an issue with something that I said or the way that I delivered it, she tells me, "Hey, I didn't like how you said X, Y, Z."
20 minutes of quitting time.
KG, you want to come in halfway through the episode?
20 minutes of quitting time. That's how you do. Don't give him no full paycheck, boss. Don't give him no full check.
So I can't pay for the full day. I can't pay for the full day. Unfortunately,
20 minutes worth of work.
It is half PTO. I'm grocery shopping looking Joker.
What'd you say?
I said as a Joker. He was looking as a Joker. Hey,
you well into your third house. Go ahead.
You know, as you know what I'm saying?
HR is watching.
Right. But no, you gotta be able to receive new things. So when my wife says, if I say something to her, right, and it may not be in that moment, it may be later where I'll have said something and it may have been a little too aggressive, right? I may not recognize that it's too aggressive. So my wife will come to me later, hey, can you not say it this way, right? Because I didn't receive it well. Okay. And I may be like upset, but then I gotta be like, dang, you're right. I shouldn't have. Because I do with my son sometimes. I'll be really like, I'll get on him like harsh, and then I gotta step back and be like,
my bad.
That's my fault. Like I literally, man, I remember there was one time my son for some reason liked to play in the water in the sink, like just there for just playing in soap and sink, wasting soap and water. But he got cars that change color in the water and all that, and so he put him in there and be playing with her. He playing, right? He's playing, but you wasting water. Come on now. So and like I'll let him. Funny enough, I'll let him do it for like a good 5-10 minutes. But when it keeps going and it's like he don't want to stop. Hey, come on now, get out the water. Like the regular way, I'm like, hey.
Thanks, Mo. It's called being a kid. That's what little kids do. They play.
I know.
Hey, I know you ain't playing in that water. I know you ain't playing in the water. Hey.
I learned that with my son. Kids love to play in the water. Like my son will cry when I say go take a bath, but then he'll get in there and cry not to get out an hour later. Like kids love playing in the water. That's just what they do.
You know what? And normally, I'm like, hey man, you've been in the water a long time. Come on, right? Play out here, right? Whatever. But this particular day, I don't know what was going on with me. I don't know what was going on with me, but it just snapped.
Hold up. Josh say stop trying to outstar.
Boys and girls, I give you the newly free.
Welcome to the show, brother.
I don't have to go to work at 5 a.m. no more, man. I don't have to dress up in my fatigue, man.
Just cause you're a civilian, that don't mean you ain't got to be punctual.
Listen here now, Rob. Hold on. I got to give him this. You know what I'm saying? Since I cowardly out, I properly cowardly out. Out of with it. You know what? Sunshine, dock me right now. Go ahead, dock me. Your bitch ass got a good old fashioned whooping coming.
Really?
When I see you, you know what's going down.
All right. Apparently somebody saw the video.
Oh man. Anyway, but nah. like for some reason, for whatever reason, that day I was just particularly upset, and I was just like, I snapped on him. Get out the water, right? And he got out the water, he turned it off, whatever. And then like probably 2 seconds later, I looked at his face, and it just broke my heart because I was like,
he's so soft.
Way too aggressive. Way too aggressive.
But see what I do with my son, right? If he's doing something, if I tell him not to do something, he continues to do it. So you get yelled at. I very rarely beat his butt. It was recently since we've been here. He's gotten it maybe twice since he's been here. But mind you, my son is 9 going on 10. And I told him to go take a bath. He took the cup. And I think we was on live that day. My brother was with me. He took the cup and he walked in next to where I was at. And he did like that with the cup. And he gave me this look like, I'm about to get a tick mark. He gave me this look like, bitch, I'm going. Right. But he's like, he gave me this look like, he was like, I tell you, I'm about to get right. He slammed the cup down, but he gave me this look like, and he just walked off. And my brother, he just looked at me. He was like, go handle your business. When I say I pull that butt up, but I always explain to him after the fact. I wait until I calm down, and then I call him and I'll be like, hey, and I'll talk to him because I feel like I never got talked to when I was a kid. We just got beat. And half the time we didn't even know what we got beat for. We just got beat. We got beat, and it was on us to figure out why we was getting beat. So
why? Do you know why this happened? No.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I do. So every time he do something that every time he do something and I end up yelling at him or I end up whipping him for it, I always call him after the dust is settled. I always call him and I'd be like, do you know why mommy got upset? And half the time he'll come in there and he'd be like, no, ma'am. Or he'd be like, oh, because I was doing this and that and the third. And if it's different from what I got upset about, I'll explain to him why I got upset and why it's important for him to do the things that I ask him to do. Because I'm not going to ask you twice. I only asked him a few times. If you don't do it, then yeah, you get the consequences that come after that. So,
JB said it's gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. I used to hate.
Yeah, it does, and you're a prime example because you got aggressive with your son, and then you looked at his face, and it hurt you more than it hurt him. To him, my dad just tripping again. I gotta get out the water. But to you, it's like, oh man, how could you be upset with a face like that? Kids will get you. They cute, but they don't get you. That's why you gotta stand your ground, and you gotta let them know, like.
He was about to cry. Like I saw it in his eyes. He was about to cry. And I had to be like, Come here. My bad. And what's funny, one thing that I do differently than what my parents did to me, well, I ain't gonna say to me, but like then what my parents did was I actually, when I recognize that I'm wrong about something, I will actually apologize for my time.
I do the same thing too.
Because I don't want you to think that it's like, yeah, I was wrong, but still, you probably deserved it. No, like, you know what I mean?
And I encourage my son to come to me and tell me his feelings.
You probably did something that I didn't know about, or you're about to do something. That's why you're getting this asshole.
No, I encourage him to come and tell me how he felt. Like when he was 3, I used to have this thing where I'd be like, I'm gonna jack you up. And I grab him by his shirt, be like, you want me to jack you up? No, ma'am, no, ma'am. And so one day he told me, he said, Mommy, he said, it really hurts my feelings when you grab my shirt like this and you jack me up. And I was like, oh, he's 3 and he's telling me that I'm hurting his feelings. I can't do nothing but respect that. So last week, or maybe a week before, he was like, Mommy, I have something to tell you, but I don't want you to get upset with me. And he's like, I don't want you to get mad. I was like, what is it? He was like, well, I was going to wait till I got a little older, but I don't want to wait till I get, and this is the conversations I have with my child. I don't want to wait till I get older and it builds up inside of me and then I explode. That's what he told me. And I was like, so what is it?
Whoa, hold on.
Let me give you a drink.
So I was like, oh, what is it? He said, well, I don't like.
I'm clipping that.
He said, well, I don't like to be bossed around. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, you always tell me, do this, go take a bath, go get this, go get that. He's like, my teacher at school, she does the same thing. James this, James that. I don't like to be bossed around. So in my mind, I'm like, so you just don't like to be told what to do.
You don't like this.
And so I had the conversation with him and he was like, well, when I ask you to do something, you don't do it. So I was like, hold up. And then I had to break it down. I was like, you know, like you do things around here, but when he volunteers to do things, it's, can I wash the dishes for $5? Can I do this for, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mind it because I'm like, I would rather pay him to do something than to just pay him to do nothing. But at the end of the day, what you're not going to do is tell me that you don't like me asking you to get me a drink when you don't do nothing around here. I pay the bills. I make sure everything is copacetic. And you don't like for me to ask you to get nothing. So we had that conversation.
Nunu said, well, James, you should have been a colonizer.
But I encourage that type of talk because I never want him to be afraid to tell me how he feels. And if I'm doing something wrong as a parent, or if I'm doing something that he doesn't like as a parent, I don't care how mad I get, tell me. Because a lot of times we don't know that we're doing something wrong or doing something that a person don't like if they don't tell us. And I'm just fortunate enough that I have a kid that is not afraid to tell me how he feels or anybody else how he feels. And he comes right out and say it. But
I think that's like the single parent or the single child complex, because a lot of single children that they're the only children, they have a close relationship with their parents, and they can say and do things that to get it off their chest because they don't really have any peers inside of the house to do that with.
Yeah. And
So,
they probably would have a mutiny up in here by now. They be like, we gonna catch her while she sleep. We gonna catch her while she sleep. You know that medicine she take that make her sleepy? We gonna give her some extra one. Oh my God, I be doomed.
They gonna be drugging you. I think to be honest, having conversations with your kids when they're feeling a certain way, and this also goes back to the emotional equality kind of thing. Not to say that you should be emotionally equal with your child, but I'm just saying, like, to be at least in tune with how they're feeling. Because if your child is scared to tell you how they feel, that means you've at some point in the past ruined their trust to tell you how they felt, right? And so to kind of combat that, or to how do you reverse the effects of your child not trusting you with certain information, right?
And it's just like with anybody else, you have to build that trust with them. You have to
build it back.
Yeah, you have to make them feel comfortable. Like for me, with my son, I always be like, so how was your day? Tell me about your day. So much to the point where he's like, how was your day, mommy? Or he'd be like, how you feeling? Are you feeling okay? Because those are all the things that I say to him to let him know that I care. Like I give a damn about how your day was. No, damn is in the Bible. We already said damn and hell is in the Bible. We're not even going there.
Use it. Depends on how you use it. We said that.
No. We said ask. Ask was not the word. Yes, it's in the Bible, but it's still a curse word. Damn. No.
We said damn and hell. Don't
do me. Would you be comfortable with your child saying it?
Not only that. Oh no, he's not gonna say none of that.
Okay then, Tally.
But it's whatever. You know what? It's okay because I done dropped about 50 million stars anyway. Turn his back on us.
You paid your dues for sure.
All of them.
I got all of 3. I got 3. It's okay. I'm still in the league. With 3.
No, so Mo said damn is where they hold water. Not DAM, that is where they hold water. DAMN is a totally different thing. What she said she added the end. Gotta count it.
Y'all killing me, Smalls.
No, like I said, like having that relationship with your child where you can actually have dialogue and say, tell me how you feel, right? Or how was your day? Or caring about how your child's day was is super important. I know when I was a child, like we talked about, I said earlier, trusting your parent with information, right? Trust gets broken when, I know, like for me, this happened a couple times. Y'all ever had when like something bad happened at school, you did something, and then your mom get on the phone, girl, let me tell you what this boy done did.
Oh, it happens to me all the time. It happened to me since I've been home recently, and I had to tell my mama, who is on a cruise right now, so she can't watch to defend herself. But I had to tell her, if you repeat something I tell you one more time, I am not telling you nothing no more. This relationship is done. Don't look to me to tell you nothing. I'm gonna go talk to the wall before I tell you what happened.
So Mo said he got a text group with his girl. That's awesome. That's amazing. I think that's incredible. But the same way you just said, I ain't telling my mama nothing no more. If she say something, one more word. It's the same thing with kids. Why do we think that kids don't have these feelings? So
see, I do that to my son though, but my son's response to me is stop telling my business. That's it. Why are you telling my business? But then he turns around and tells somebody else the same thing about me. He'll tell somebody else my business. My mama, like that night when I fell asleep, my mama was in the bed. Like, whoa, why are you telling my business? That was supposed to be between the 4 of us.
Wait a minute, hold on. Run this by me before you start telling them people.
Yeah.
No, but Nunu said, you ain't got no business, boy.
Exactly. Oh, he let him tell him he got a whole lot of business.
Yeah, business.
Whole lot of business in this mug.
So developing that trust emotionally with your child, I think, is extremely important, and that carries them over into adulthood. Because to be honest, a whole lot of people in the Black community are scarred from parents that do that. We are scarred. We don't tell nobody nothing because of fear of using it against us. And this goes back to the
so-and-so, auntie so-and-so, grandmama so-and-so, everybody's going to know it, and they're going to be looking at you like.
Hey, look, my wife said, but look, I want to know what everybody else business. And it's funny, I'm out there, but there is one person that know everybody business, and we always go to get the tea.
Yeah,
I will say, when you get to be an adult, it is what it is. It is what it is. But as a child, with parent to child relationships, that is, I think that needs to be one of the most important things that parents need to do today, is develop that relationship to be able to talk to your child, right? And your child be able to talk to you. I think that's huge, because not only does it help them as a child, but when they get older, they'll actually know how to communicate.
So I used to have this thing with my son when he was a lot younger to kind of get him to be comfortable with talking about stuff. So I know him standing there looking at me and telling me how he feel was an issue with him. So I would sit him on my lap and I'd make him put his face in my neck and we would talk. Yeah, we would talk because he wouldn't have to look at me. He could just tell me how he felt. And I would sit there and we would talk and he would just spill the beans. I mean, he was like maybe 3 or 4 years old and he would just tell me how he felt. And then when he got done, it was like, that was it. Even the other day when we had this conversation, he was hard down crying, telling me how he don't like to be bossed around and stuff. And after he got done talking, I asked him, I said, now, how do you feel since you told mommy what you feel? And he was like, I'm happy that I got it off of my chest because I was holding that in. And I was like, wow, at 9. But you know how many kids at 9 don't have the mental capacity to be like, let me tell an adult how I feel about what they doing. They grow up to be these effed up adults that be like, when I was a child, you did this to me and I never could do that. So I am so proud of him that he is expressing himself like a young man. You know what I'm saying? Like if he feels a certain way, he'll tell you. He ain't got, like, anybody who's met my child, he will tell you how he feels. He is not holding nothing back. He is his mama's child. Because you might not like how I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you.
That's it. But see, you got to teach him how to deliver it.
Yeah.
Well, he delivers it in a way. He doesn't like to hurt nobody's feelings. So he delivers it in a way that's like, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, and even if you like, oh, that hurt, like, I'm sorry you hurt my feelings. He'll be like, I'm so sorry. Like, he probably would start crying. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I just wanted to tell you what I felt. Like, and that's how he did me. I didn't want you to me, but I wanted to tell you. That's him. So he'll have you crying at the end of the day, like, oh man, I'm sorry, bro. Like, are you okay? When you're the one who was offended.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I'd like to say thank you to all of our listeners, everybody that's tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys, man. These topics are clearly you guys love them, so we're gonna continue with these type of topics. Obviously, and we're also gonna have an event on November 18th. I sent the invites out yesterday. You can check on the events. November 18th, we're holding a live with every single person, man and woman, on Zoom with us, talk, and it's going to be Battle of the Sexes, okay? It's battle as in we're having a conversation, open forum conversation. We want to talk to you guys. We want you guys to talk to us. We want y'all to talk to each other to get some dialogue and actually start to get somewhere in your relationships and how we communicate with each other. I think this would be a great platform to do it on. So we're going to do it and we're going to broadcast it live so everybody else can see it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Perfectly Balanced Podcast. It's just a panel of brown people having good conversations over here. I'm your host, Big Rob. Who else you got in the building?
It's your girl, Sunshine, coming live from Candyland.
It's me, KG, aka Dr. Griggs, no PhD. You know who we are. We came to drop bars.
Actual information.
Well, isn't it the most 3 diabolical black folks on this side of the Mississippi River?
What?
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 Like a villain in a movie or something. Well.
Diabolical.
Listen here, y'all. It's your boy DJ Chef, man. Hey, be careful when you take your little ones trick-or-treating. here pretty soon. Make sure you check the candy, eat all the good stuff, give them the
It's
crap.
crazy out here.
Eat all the good stuff, give them, I repeat, give them candy corn. Eat the good stuff and give them candy corn.
That's child abuse. That's child abuse right there.
I'm gonna put you CPS. No, I'm doing.
Call the CPS on you.
Be safe. Go see Black Adam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good movie. Saw it last night. Great movie. Not gonna spoil it for you, but it's a must watch. It's your boy DJ Chef. Peace and chicken.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, one more thing before we get up out of here. I know we do the Stars for Bars competition every single month. Whoever sends the most stars will get a prize from us, the Perfect Balance Podcast crew. Make sure you send these stars showing your love even after this video has ended. This live has ended. All right. We will see y'all. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will see y'all next time, same place. All right. Peace.